time. Arnold!
I came from Austria 35 years ago, and I have seen firsthand how you can come here, work hard, and then make it here. All my dreams became a reality because of California, because of America. This is the land of opportunities. I want to make sure that it stays this way, because what we have seen in the last few years is unacceptable. Last month alone, 22,000 Californians have lost their jobs. We have to stop that. We have to stop this government from overspending, overtaxing, and overregulating. We have to stop them because all they know is spend, spend, spend. On October 7th, I need all of your votes. Vote yes for the recall.
Thank you. Summer 2003. America was busy selling itself around the world as the model for democracy: Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran. But back at home, something strange was going on. California was nearly bankrupt. People were losing their jobs. They'd faced a massive energy crisis. And they had Gray Davis, a boring governor making boring excuses for his huge $38 billion budget deficit. To try to get rid of him, his Republican enemies cooked up a cunning plan: a recall election. As soon as I heard the Terminator was running, I wanted to know how Arnold the megastar would turn himself into Arnold the politician. But I had no idea how much of a circus this election would become.
I will never arm wrestle Arnold Schwarzenegger. No matter how hard I try, I'll never lift as much weight as he does. I think it's interesting. It's, you know, I'm a follower of American politics. I find what's going on in the state of California very interesting, and I'm confident the citizens of California will sort all this out for the good of the citizenry. Yeah, I think he'd be a good governor.
Republicans have found a scapegoat for all of California's problems in Democrat Governor Gray Davis. They've dug up a 100-year-old law to force him back to the polls. But is Davis really the bad guy, or does he just look wrong for the part?
Now let's talk about the recall. This recall is bigger than California. What's happening here is part of an ongoing national effort to steal elections Republicans cannot do. It started with the impeachment of President Clinton when the Republicans could not beat him in 1996. It continued in Florida, where they stopped the vote count, depriving thousands of Americans of the right to vote. This year, they're trying to steal additional congressional seats in Colorado and Texas, overturning legal redistricting plans. Here in California, the Republicans lost the governor's race last November. Now they're trying to use this recall to seize control of California just before the next presidential election.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome First Lady of the State of California, First Lady Sharon Davis.
It's great to be back with you again this year. I was with many of you last year when my husband was running, when he just got elected last November. About 30 days after my husband was elected, just 30 days after the election, mind you, some recently unemployed Republican consultants got together to see what kind of havoc they could wreak in California. And lo and behold, there was this 100-year-old law that had never been tested before. And it was easy. If you had enough money, you could buy signatures and get somebody out of office. That means you didn't actually have to win the election, mind you. You could actually try and take the election. And so that's what they did.
You know, you work so hard, you've done everything right, you've won an election legitimately, and then you find out that somebody can pull the rug out from under you if they have enough money to do so. And that's what it kind of feels like. It feels like somebody's just pulling the rug out from under you.
We want Arnold! We want
This is democracy American style. Here, money talks. Arnold is pumping millions into the race, and he's got donations pouring in from big business. But he's making a big deal about Gray Davis taking donations from trade unions and other special interest groups.
This administration is not representing you, it's not representing you, it's not representing you, it's not representing you, it's representing special interests.
What about the business special interests?
We got to get rid of that. We got to have a governor that is the people's governor, that represents the people first. That's
Will you take money from businesses?
I will never take money from the special interests, from the Indian gaming, or from unions or anything like that. I get donations from businesses and from individuals, absolutely.
Well, there's
other people that are interested in helping our campaign, because they're the powerful interests. They're the ones that control things.
Isn't the Irvine company a
you
special interest company?
you cannot go. You cannot go to the Indians and talk about gaming and do them favors and promise them things, big contributions. How can you then, as governor, sit down with them and negotiate? It's impossible. It's over. It's over.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the political equivalent to the Beatles. I mean, when the Beatles came to this country, people screaming and mobbing him and etc. And Arnold Schwarzenegger has brought Beatle power to the American and California political system. And music was getting a little stale before the Beatles came on the scene. I'd say politics was getting a little stale until Arnold Schwarzenegger came on the scene.
Acting the politician is a new role for Arnie, but he's surrounded himself with seasoned Republican operators.
We love the press.
So you've obviously done this before.
6 years in the White House, 2 in the Reagan administration, 4 in the Bush administration, and 5+ years in the governor's office in Sacramento.
Arnie's first serious policy meeting. The world's media have descended for the feeding frenzy. But would Mr. Universe have any real policies?
I feel that the people of California have been punished enough. From the time they get up in the morning and flush the toilet, they're taxed. Then they go and get a coffee, they're taxed. They get into their car, they're taxed. They go to the gas station, they're taxed. They go for lunch, they're taxed. And this goes on all day long. Tax, 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 tax. The first thing you do is you have to find out in the details what is the problem in order to come up with the exact solution. So it would be wrong for me to go now and come up with all kinds of exact solutions to the problem when I don't know what the problem really is. So I assume that's why I say we have to get into that.
If you have to wait for a state audit to identify one single program that needs to be cut, why should anybody vote for you as opposed to somebody who's in Sacramento who is already identifying programs that should be cut to bring the budget into balance?
But everyone knows, you see, the people, you can't put wool over their eyes. You can't put wool over people's eyes. The voters are so smart, it is incredible. And they know that the people that are up there right now have gotten us into the situation that we're in. We have to look at everything before we promise anything to anyone right now. I think stop. Stop, stop, stop with the spending.
But it's everybody says, you know, he doesn't have enough experience. But you got to think, you know, he's been married to, you know, the Kennedy family for about how many years now? And you don't think he's picked up something? I mean, you know, trust me. And he's good, and I think he has a lot of. I know he's going to raise our taxes, you know, but he does have a lot of good things for the children, for after-school programs, and I think if we can get rid of some of the crime in our children, things will be, you know, going a lot nicer.
Celebrity is transforming this race. Suddenly, everyone seems to be talking about politics, even the impersonators on Hollywood Boulevard.
The longer Gray Davis stays in there, the more debt the state gets.
No, I heard we had a lot of money in the bank account before he got in, and now we owe a lot of people a lot of money. And that probably ain't too good.
I'll get a homeless guy off the street, let him be governor. He can't do any worse. What, are you kidding me? This guy's a career politician, and he's a moron. He's the one who screwed us over. He's the one who's caused these problems, and he's going to go. He's out. Arnold, baby!
What has happened to that optimism that the state represented to the rest of the world? This optimism, it was the envy of the rest of the world. He's put a spending cap on those guys because all they know how to do is spend. They say, we want to recall this administration. We are mad as hell. This is like a war. We are in the trenches. We have to fight it. With my twin Terminators. Hasta la vista, baby.
Arnie's campaign has got real energy. It's got sound bites, logos and t-shirts. But I'm beginning to think the election is less about issues and more about marketing muscle. No one here seems to care.
Pretty good, and you?
Great, thank you.
I thought you'd be with Candy.
If I know you were here, I would have brushed my hair. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
America prides itself on being a meritocracy. But when you look closely, it's clear that powerful dynasties are running the show. Lucky for Arnold, he married into one. His wife, Maria Shriver, is a Kennedy. She's been steeped in Democrat politics from an early age. Some say she's the real brains behind the campaign.
I've been the niece of, the daughter of, the wife of, the cousin of, the sister of, every kind of conceivable political candidate. And I still think, after having had all these different roles, that being the child of a candidate is the most difficult. When my dad lost in '72, I was devastated. And my younger brother, he went to school and someone said to him, haha, your dad lost. And he said, at least my dad had the guts to get into the race. And I tell that story to my kids a lot so that they understand that this is an unknown. And that, you know, just like they don't know if they're going to win when they play, and that, you know, that we need to be proud of Daddy that he did this. When I started going out with Arnold way back in 1977, people were very confused about our relationships. Some still are a little bit, but they were like, what do you see in him? And I was like, hello, the body, is anybody like looking at his body? I'm no fool. But truly, I was 21, so, you know, I was kind of interested in that. Still am, but anyway, that's a different speech. But the thing really back then that attracted me to him, and that still attracts me to him day and date, is how incredibly smart he is. Trust me, every decision he has made in his life has been bold and daring. Certainly to leave the little town he grew up in Austria and come to America, that was incredibly bold. When he said he wanted to become the greatest bodybuilder in the world and make people actually know what bodybuilding was and promote fitness all over the world and make it cool, that was bold. When he came to Hollywood and said, I'm going to be the biggest movie star in the world even though I can't speak English, that was bold. Lord knows marrying a Kennedy was incredibly bold. But deciding to run for governor was either bold or insane, but it was very bold.
There's no doubt that the young Arnie had supersized his ambitions. I wonder what Freud, a fellow Austrian, would have made of this extraordinary drive to succeed.
fell in love with Maria in 1977. I think that you know now why I fell in love with her. She has been the most extraordinary friend and supporter that I've ever had. If it is way back in bodybuilding, where she was concerned about how I eat, what diet I use. Don't eat enough, don't eat more pie, because maybe you're not in good shape then when you go to competition. I mean, that's the way she was. When I asked her, what do you think I should do? Even though we did go back and forth with the decision making for a while, but in the end she said, you have to do what is in your heart. I believe in you. And so, Maria, I love you today more than ever. Thank you very much for being a wonderful friend.
It's so challenging for us in this particular race because you have somebody who's a movie star. And my husband would be the first to admit to you he is not a movie star. And this is a true David and Goliath fight. And he has all the money he can put into this. In fact, he is outspending us 2-1 on television, sheerly by the fact that he can write the check. Now, I'm going to hearken you back, because there were 16 years, and the working men and women of this state were in the desert. That was the proverbial, like when Moses was in the desert for 40 years, you had your 16 years in the desert. And where the issues that were important to working people were not only ignored, but were completely rolled back. Taking away the 8-hour day, refusing to raise the minimum wage, wanting to cut back on Cal OSHA, making sure that we had a hostile environment for the working men and women of this state. And did we have prosperity? No. Because during that time, in the middle of having 2 Republican governors, we still had a recession in 1990. That's right. Even though they were taking away from you, and they're telling you now that because you got these great benefits, you're hurting our economy. Well, guess what? When they were taking away the benefits, it was hurting the economy as well. We are in a national recession. The change that needs to take place is not in Sacramento. We need to change what's happening in I'm a little tired of my husband getting blamed for every single thing that's happened. I suspect any day now he will be blamed for not finding weapons of mass destruction in
We're entering the governor's elevator.
Okay. So how long has your home been in this building?
Well, we've been had offices here since my husband was elected. He was elected in 1998, took office in 1999. This is the governor's private office in the Capitol. And then it connects to a large conference room. He spends a good part of his day because he can hold larger meetings in here, and he can work with staff, and he can have his cabinet secretaries here. I wrote a book about a cat that lives here at the Capitol. It's a real cat. And when I read it to kids, I show them the back cover, and I said, you've heard of fat cats. Well, there's a real fat cat that lives at the Capitol. And Capitol Kitty lives here. It's a feral cat, a wild cat, and the people that work at the Capitol take care of her. And she gets an unwanted visitor at the Capitol, and she is very unhappy to have her space spoiled by this scaredy cat. Oh, Capitol Kitty is definitely against the recall. Thinks it's not very fair. She's basically a fair cat. Bipartisan, but very fair.
Even by American standards, this is a unique election. With no primaries, anyone can stand. All of these people, even the clowns, are candidates to be governor of California. Altogether, there are 135 candidates. Porn stars, soap stars, even a sumo wrestling star. It's becoming democracy as spectacle.
Everyone has to do what they need to do, what they believe they have to do to get their equal time. Hold on. This guy here too with the equal time.
This year there's 135 candidates. In 2002 there were only 6.
I'm a third-year college student at UC San Diego, and I'm running for governor.
I'm the first candidate in history to campaign on a Fairness for Singles platform.
I am running as an independent. Please vote for me.
My name is Trek Thunder Kelly. Vote for me.
The recall provision in California is pretty much broken. I mean, you have all of us clowns running for governor. Not the way an election should be run.
Do not let this election be stolen. Do not let this election be stolen.
My motivation is to come to this circus and tell people that to vote for the recall is not only immoral, it's unethical, and they shouldn't be doing it. This recall is something that never should have happened.
Wait, are you complaining? Do not vote for the recall. Stay away from me. Do not vote for the recall. Do not let the Republicans steal the 5th largest economy in this state. This is a ploy. And if you don't know it, you deserve what you get.
In this election, even porn stars have policies.
The federal government wants to outlaw adult film stars like Mary Carey. As a California voter, you can stand by and watch this happen.
Or you can elect me governor of California. I'm going to get rid of the car tax and put a tax on breast implants instead. In other words, California, I'll be a kick-ass governor. So vote for me, Mary Carey, on October 7th.
Ah, focus. There we go.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much. I need it. Tony.
I'll be seeing you at the line.
I'm on your boobs, baby. It's just because I do adult movies doesn't mean I wouldn't make a good governor. It'd make me a better governor. I know what it's like to work hard for my money.
You won't screw the public either.
I won't screw the public.
You're page 3?
Page 3 is topless, right?
Got it.
How do I say I want to be governor?
我要选州长。
Oh, Yashin Cho Chang. Being governor and being president are the only 2 things I'd like to do other than being a kick-ass contract girl. After that, my goals in life are complete. And no other governor has done that.
I was gonna do it. Boss wouldn't give me the time off. Had my campaign slogan and everything. It says, enough's enough, vote LaDuff. But if I take my clothes off and run around, I could have got 10,000 votes myself.
Charlie LaDuff is covering the recall for the New York Times. Like all of us, he's trying to understand what this election is about.
Throwaway society, you know what I mean? Buy a Harley. Except you can't put a wrench to it and then you trade it in when the warranty runs out. Bunch of wankers, you know what I'm saying? What's the point? That's not cool. That's not Zen. And is that locked? Yeah. You know? That's not Zen. You know. That's this culture. That's what this recall's all about. It's kind of like the grocery stores here, you know? Full of everything. Fat, opulence, waste, choice, and you have so much choice you don't even know what you have anymore. So, I got bored with this governor, and I'm gonna turn him in and get a new one.
And just when I thought this election couldn't get any more absurd, a TV network launches a brand new game show starring some of the election's real candidates.
Welcome to Who Wants to Be Governor of California, the debating game. And our lawyers made it clear to me that I should say it's for entertainment purposes only.
It is my duty, not to mention my great privilege, to introduce the first 2 candidates. Is Arnold here? Did Game Show Network land Arnold? He played Arnold on Different Strokes. Gary Coleman. Let's welcome a talented dancer, a very versatile actress with a lot of depth, Mary Carey. All right, candidates, please spell Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
No, I'm sorry. Mary, would you like to spell Schwarzenegger?
You know what? Why not? Okay. Schwarzenegger. SHWARGENZER.
I'm getting curious about how this recall election happened in the first place. Who organized it? Who paid for it? I keep hearing the name Darrell Issa. He's a Republican congressman for California. He's agreed to meet me in Washington.
Okay, take care. I hope you feel better tomorrow.
Darrell personally invested over $1.5 million to get Gray recalled.
I've been in Congress for about 2.5 years. This is my second term.
He made his fortune making car alarms. Now he's rich, seriously rich. And on politics, he's seriously serious.
Look, it's the best investment somebody could make. We were $38 billion in deficit, and my part is about $1.7 million. And, you know, I made a lot of millions of dollars in California. I made it because the California economy was good, the workforce was good. So, you know, my wife and I decided that putting a nickel into per person into the recall was a pretty reasonable amount. And that's about what we put in, about 5 cents for every person in California.
When you think you've done the right thing, you hope that it's not just the right thing in theory, but the right thing in reality. We need to get across over there. The right outcome here is for the people of California to displace a governor who has clearly failed and they no longer trust, and replace him with somebody that will take the state in a definable different direction.
But Darrell isn't all that he seems. The man who'd financed the recall has a murky past. In his early 20s, he was arrested twice for car theft. Though the charges were dropped, his brother was convicted. But this is America, and Darrell made his money as the Viper King.
My brother has a long criminal record. He's been incarcerated for car theft many times. You know, do I have a history of not being willing to turn my brother in or allow my statements to incriminate him? Yes. That's not a crime, and it's not something I'm ashamed of. You know, I've never committed any crimes, sans the possession of a 3-inch little knife when I was a teenager, and an unregistered and unloaded, regardless of what the police are saying, little 25 caliber automatic. You know, those were youthful mistakes, but I've done just the opposite of being a car thief. I've produced millions of products to protect automobiles from being stolen all over the world, including the Clifford brand in Britain. And, you know, I'm very proud that I've sort of undone some of the damage that people like my brother have done in their lives.
Without Darrell Issa, the whole recall circus would never have happened. But had he really expected this?
I'm John Christopher Burton, and I will be the next governor of California.
My name is Jim Vandevenner.
And I'm going to be your next governor.
I am going to be your next governor.
My name is Scott Mednick.
And Kelly Kimball.
And we are running for the governor of the great state of California.
On the Bud Monkey Beer Party platform.
We think that the circus that is the election needed to be made even more fun of, so we're actually promoting our beer product through the electoral process.
So for the love of God, don't vote for us.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can.
If two guys who are promoting a beer company can run for the governor of the 5th largest economy in the world, this process is broken and better be fixed.
Don't you think they'd have recalled me after a couple years as president? I had to raise taxes on upper income people and cut spending both to balance the budget. Or what if they'd recall me after I helped Mexico, and the polls said 80-something% of the people didn't want me to help Mexico when they were collapsing, but I knew if I didn't, we'd have 1 million illegal immigrants. I'd have more drug runners up there sending cocaine to your kids on the streets in L.A. We'd have a total collapse in L.A. It didn't matter whether the poll was right or not. And by the time I had to run again, everybody said, boy, Bill Clinton did a good thing helping Mexico. They paid the loan back with interest and early. But if we could have had a recall vote right after I did it, would anybody ever make a hard decision that was good for you again? I want you to think about this. California, America, this church, your family, the nature of life is to have problems as well as opportunity, to have grief as well as joy. The measure of a good life and good leadership is dealing with all of them in the best way you can. You don't want to set up a system where nobody will ever make a hard decision again, do you? I don't think so. So, yeah, Gray Davis and I have been friends a long time, and I don't want this to happen to him, but this is way bigger than him. It's you I'm worried about. It's California I'm worried about. I don't want you to become a laughingstock, a carnival, or the beginning of a circus in America where we just throw people out as soon as they make a tough decision. Don't do this. Don't do this.
It's convention day for Republicans in California. They're desperate to take their state back.
I originally was born and raised in Louisiana, and they have no recall privileges there, so we had a governor named Huey Long who was like that, and they recalled him in the only way they could. They shot him on the Capitol steps. This is more civilized.
The recall has given them a new hero, the Viper King himself. Darrell Issa is the Cinderella who didn't get to go to the ball. He'd wanted to run for governor himself, but just one day after Arnold declared, he dropped out of the race.
And it's my desire. God almighty. It's my... Yeah, it's my desire. It's my desire to see that the recall continues, that Gray Davis is recalled, and that California has a brighter day.
When I decided to leave my many years in the business world and come into public service, that believing that I could make a difference but not knowing how, I now begin to see that there will be courses, and this is one of them. I'm having an opportunity to make a difference that you couldn't have predicted by entering government service, but it's happened.
It isn't all fun and games in the Schwarzenegger camp. There are signs that his lively past is beginning to catch up with him. An old interview describing orgies and drug-taking among bodybuilders in the 70s resurfaces. Reporters aren't going to let this one go.
Well, I didn't hear what the last part was when you closed your mouth and you covered it. But I mean, I can tell you that I have no idea what they're talking about. I have no idea what they're talking about. No, let me just finish. Okay, I'm talking to her. Okay, I don't know what they're talking about, but on top of that, I'm here to push my economic agenda. I'm not paying any attention to all of those things. I have no memory of any of the articles I did 20 or 30 years ago.
I'm wondering is whether you think that as a candidate for the highest public office in the state, you have a responsibility to engage in serious discussions with journalists about your campaign and issues facing the state, and why you've chosen not to do that.
By the time October 7th comes along, I will be having done a lot of interviews. So, you know, it's one step at a time.
Let's do one more, then move out of here.
Can I follow up on Michael's question,
Okay.
which is, you know, you keep saying that we're going to do these lengthy interviews in the weeks to come, but we've only got 40 days here.
Well,
so
12 days until voters start voting by
12
mail.
days until voters start voting by mail. So is this a run out the clock? I'll be quite honest.
Well,
is this a run out the clock strategy?
No, you'll see. There'll be newspaper interviews.
When?
When the campaign?
Hopefully
is
in the near
almost
future.
halfway.
You know, but if there is damage to the campaign, that'll be a decision the voters will make. There's not an intention to run out the clock, as you describe it.
He's
There is a
engaged
lot.
in
This
no
is.
serious discussions in more than 3 weeks with any journalist. Why?
He had I assume Sean Hannity would take exception to that,
None
which is
of
fine.
the journalists who cover California government and politics.
Right,
None.
and he has not had. You haven't seen print interviews with national magazines. You haven't seen any interviews.
But why not? Why? What's the rationale for not engaging in any serious discussions with journalists who cover California government and politics?
He will not necessarily. This is an unconventional campaign that is not necessarily going to follow the conventions that the journalists that cover California politics daily think should be dictated to him.
It may not happen for sure, but there's a chance he may come from this way, so we'll have the nice approach shot, but it could be that we just swing around.
Is there a chance for an interview tomorrow if someone is in Sacramento?
I certainly am not going to promise it, but I am never going to say that it
Well,
won't
how do
happen.
we ask for that and find out?
You can ask me or Rob or Sean, and
So, I mean, but do you arrange it ahead of time, or when should said person ask you? Should they call? Or
when
just
should
hit you
said
up
reporter?
there?
Basically, we roll a dice, right before. And
Seriously, I mean, we're going to have a reporter there tomorrow, but you're not going to come up to the reporter and say, hey, okay, now's your interview, right? You're not going to do that, are you?
I'm not going to. Seriously,
all right, I'll talk to Sean.
With that, we'll move everybody back in.
A new spin doctor has been drafted in. Perhaps he'll be more liberal.
I actually have been working as a spokesman for Jeb Bush in Florida, and I just came in for the month. I'm actually originally from California, so I'm home now, and but soon I'll be going back to Florida.
Now I get it. This whole campaign is being staged for TV. I can see how Arnold got typecast as a robot, and the movie star look has been replaced with Capitol Hill chic.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
This time, his team are one step ahead of the game. Arnie's answers have plainly been rehearsed.
Okay, what do you say to women's groups? Some plan a protest later today. They say some of the comments you've made about women in interviews, 1977, even in Esquire of 2003, show that you don't respect women.
I have the utmost respect for women. And it is absolutely that I say crazy things. You're absolutely correct. It was the 70s when we promoted bodybuilding, when we tried to get headlines, because bodybuilding was nowhere to be found. It was like a sport that was in a dungeon somewhere. So we tried to get attention and headlines, and I would say things that many times were exaggerated or not true or so, just to get the headlines. But the fact of the matter is, you got to forget about the 70s. I was a different person then. Today we have to look in the future, which is the future of this state. It's not what was said in the 70s by me that has ruined the economy of California. Thank you, until next time.
Yeah, I think Arnold really got his land legs, his first coming out party, his Economic Forum Council. I thought that's really where it happened for him. He got his cadence, He understood the press. He went talks, and all the cameras going ch. And then from then on, you saw it. Talks. Spin. The rings disappeared, the Garris suits disappeared, the alligator shoes disappeared, and Arnold became a candidate. Theater, man. Whoever said he's not a good actor? It's a brilliant campaign. I mean, there's just no doubt.
Arnold has won the support of most Californian Republicans. But just because you're a megastar doesn't mean everyone's pleased to see you.
California
election. The people have risen up. 1.6 million people have signed the recall petition, and they are saying, we are mad as hell. We're not going to take it anymore. Let me just tell you something. This is not a right-wing takeover. This is a people's takeover. This is a movement for change. The politicians have had their chance, and they have failed the people.
How much money did the energy pirates give you?
I can guarantee you that the children will always
Why are you meeting with Ken Lay of Enron?
We need to find
Why are you meeting with Ken Lay of Enron?
And I know that together we can do great things. Thank you very much.
I'm not voting for him. This was a total Republican setup. All the people that had strategically placed in the crowd with big signs that have young voters on it, those aren't the people of Long Beach State. Those aren't people in Long Beach. Those aren't, and they had a lot of students of color that they don't represent us. You know what I mean? They're paid off. You know, and all this. If you're shouting and stuff, they push you in the back.
I mean, right now, Arnold Schwarzenegger, everything that's happening is like a circus. This is a circus over here. People don't want to hear his speeches. They're just here to like get autographs and pictures with him. This reminds me of when Reagan almost went in, and all the stories I heard from Reagan, and the Reaganomics that went through, and the neoliberal actions that went in with Reagan. This is the same thing. Actors do not make good governors. We've learned that from the past, but this country never seems to learn from its mistakes.
Arnold's been accused of ducking out of a whole series of TV debates with other candidates. But there's a key TV debate coming up.
What about this reaction? You got hit by an egg. What do you think of it?
Well, this guy owes me bacon now. I mean, there's no two ways about it, because, I mean, you can't just have eggs without bacon. But this is just all part of, you know, the free speech. I think it's great. You see these people here screaming out. Imagine you're in some communist state or in some dictatorship. You couldn't do that. That's why I love this country. And you have to take the whole package when you love something. I think that California is great. I think America is great. Everyone can speak out. Everyone, there's freedom of speech. That's what creates the ultimate of democracy. So I believe in that, and I welcome that.
Why don't the people of California, okay, come up to the front.
I want to hear what you're saying, you know.
Why don't the people of California deserve to see you, a man who wants to be governor, in more than one debate, taking spontaneous questions from reporters and the public?
They will see me in a debate. They will see me with all the other people. I will be available for that. In the meantime, I will be traveling up and down the state, and this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan to reach out. It has been successful in the past. You know me well enough by now that I'm good in marketing, I'm good in promoting. I've always done this well, and I will do it well with this campaign.
But Arnold, you have a movie persona of being a brave guy and somebody not afraid to face adversaries. Why not go on every single debate that's available to you and face your opponents?
Well, again, let me take you back. When I was a bodybuilding champion, I didn't go to the Mr. Venice Beach. I didn't go to the Mr. San Francisco or to the Mr. Europe and all those contests. I went to the Mr. Universe, to the Mr. World, to the Mr. Olympia, competed there.
But now
All the best come together, and that's it. So don't worry about it. I will be there at the debate, and I'm looking forward to it.
We take you now to the California recall race, where Arnold Schwarzenegger and his oversized yellow Hummer took an early lead. But Ariana Huffington is moving up on him fast in her clean-burning hybrid.
Hey there, good buddy. I just got some fresh gas for you.
Thank you, Bushy.
Got to make up some time. I'll take a shortcut.
One candidate is making it her business to attack the Arnold machine. With her radical policies and Hollywood friends, Ariana Huffington is the only viable woman in the race.
So what?
Can we hold it for you?
Okay, so I guess Hollywood's been kind of quiet though about the recall and the candidates that are running because of Arnold.
I think that, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people are friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I actually know him. I'm not friends with him per se, but I know Arnold, I know Maria, I know her brother, and I actually like them all very much. I just don't want to see them become. I don't want to see him become governor.
How are you? It's my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure.
Hi.
about Arnold Schwarzenegger running for governor?
I like Arnold a lot. He's a really good guy, and he's smart. And you can't compromise him very well because he's sitting on his own $300 million. Well, I think it's actually, in spite of the fact that I'm standing here talking to you, I think it's a real good idea if actors hold back on their opinions. Because, you know, we don't know what's going on. We just parade around in front of cameras. And the things we say just have too much weight, considering how little education most of us have.
Join me in calling for clean, publicly financed elections.
Stop! Stop the movie!
From the Luckman Auditorium comes the most amazing spectacle of democracy, greed, and political ambition ever staged. The national press, the Hollywood elite, and the politically connected have all gathered here to witness a great night for America, a great night for democracy, and a great night for game shows. It's time for Who Wants to Be Governor of California? The debating game. And now, let's meet the players, all of them actual registered candidates for governor of California.
I'm Gary Coleman. I'm the smallest candidate running.
I'm Nate Walton. I'm the tallest candidate running.
My name is Humble Carl, and I'm the oldest candidate running. I'm Brian Quinn. I'm the youngest candidate.
I'm Trek Thunder Kelly. I'm the bluest candidate running.
I'm Mary Carey, and I'm an adult film star, so I'm the most experienced candidate running for governor.
This is the first political debate with bonus points and a cash grand prize. One of these 6 candidates could actually take over the reins of the largest state economy in the United States.
How did we finally decide who the candidates were? We looked at about 90 of them, I'd say. Trek came off as very charismatic, and of course dressed all in blue. We're always looking for a good visual. We really loved the quirkiness of Carl Mayer. The fact that he was the oldest candidate running was really good. And then when it came down to the young guys, we actually had a hard time deciding between Brian, the youngest candidate running, and Nate, the tallest candidate running, so we just chickened out and booked both of them.
Today is also the day for the real TV debate. But in California's bizarre election, the existing governor, Gray Davis, isn't allowed to take part.
Just moments from now, the major candidates debate the issues live before all of California. A debate that, for the first time, includes Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold is still lagging behind in the polls. His campaign team know this performance could be make or break.
Well, for the next 90 minutes, candidates will answer questions posed by real California voters.
I was on October 8th. It's going to be Governor Arnold, okay? So let's make that clear.
Well, let us just pray it's not, because, you know, you've been saying so many things and then contradicting them a few weeks later. But, you know, it's very important if we want to know who we are, to actually expose the inconsistencies.
Well, let's find out who you are, Governor Schwarzenegger. Pardon me, I'm getting them mixed up here.
So what I find amazing is that Republicans really do not believe that morality applies to businesses. Is that the kind of business climate you'd like to bring to the state? The same kind of business climate that brought us Enron and Global Crossing and Adelphia and has cost millions of jobs, and we're still paying that price. And one more thing, Arnold. You know, you talk about the 30... Yes, you know, you talk...
30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Ariana, let me just say one thing. You
finish.
personally, your personal income tax have the biggest loophole. I can drive my Hummer through it. That's how big the loophole is.
Come here, let me
You're talking
finish.
about the
Let
car
me
tax
finish.
right now, not about
Let
education.
me finish.
I
You
mean,
know,
that
this
will
is
get-
completely
we get to
impolite.
later.
This is the way you treat women. We know that, but not now.
I would just like to say that I just realized that I have a perfect part for you in Terminator 4. That's it.
Thank you. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, these individuals are running for governor of the state of California.
Along with 100 other people.
I think at this point, this is not, ladies and gentlemen, this is not Comedy Central, I swear.
Welcome back to Who Wants to Be Governor of California, the debating game. All right, listen carefully, Gary. Name 4 well-known TV or movie stars that have been elected to major public office.
Ronald Reagan.
5 points. There have been 7 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that have made over $100 million domestically. Name 4 of them.
Terminator 1.
There have been 8 U.S. presidents who died in office. Please name 4 of them.
Yeah, 4.
Kennedy got shot.
Kennedy. Yeah.
Okay, Carl. Well, what California city is home to the zip code 90210?
Beverly Hills.
When Arnold Schwarzenegger refers to California, what state is he talking about? Carl.
California.
Yes, that is correct. Nice, Carl. Very nice.
How'd you like the debate last night?
I just loved it.
Well, we got our first poll in from the debate. I'm going to share with you the results. KABC television here in Los Angeles shows 32% of respondents think that Arnold won the debate last night.
Overnight, Arnold's poll ratings have shot up. He's managed to convince people he could act like a politician.
Arnold! Arnold! Arnold!
Well, I have like 7 televisions at home, and I watched every one of them had the debate going on.
I saw Arnold on TV yesterday, and that's what made me think he's quite knowledgeable.
Mrs. Huffington, you whack job. I mean, it sees what kind of nuts these people really are.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Alex on the Ferris with the Dixon.
Fantastic. You want to go ahead and step in? Hi, Helen.
Thank you for coming.
This is
so
great.
much. It's
How's
good
it going?
for you to be here. Great.
There's a second line over here as well.
Oh, you look familiar.
Yes. Hi. It's good to see you. I'm Sharon Davis. Oh, I'm Sharon Davis. Hi, Sharon. My husband's Ray Davis. Okay. Yeah. I'm to stand out to hand those stage. Well, that's really nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Good things for the future. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Education. This one looks good to you. I like that. There you go. Oh, you know you're getting a little one. Oh, well. Hi. Would you like to stay? Does that one look okay? I want to. Let me see if I can find. There's a small one around the camera. You're welcome. Hi. Can I get you? Is anything on bird peas? Whatever.
The choice next Tuesday is crystal clear. You can retain me as governor and allow me to finish the term you elected me to serve last November, or you can elect Arnold Schwarzenegger as governor. That is the choice.
5 days to go now, and the Arnie campaign has come up with its latest stunt, a 4-day bus tour of California. Over 100 new foreign journalists joined the media pack. They've all come thinking they'll get access to Arnie, get to know him, share a coffee, share the toilet. So what if it's crowded? How little they know what's in store.
We have 6 buses, over 220 members of the media from over a dozen countries, and we're going to be starting in San Diego and heading up north through cities big and small and talking directly with the voters.
But then the Los Angeles Times spoils the party. 6 women give the paper detailed accounts of alleged inappropriate sexual behavior by Arnie. Surely this will derail the campaign, or at least wreck the first day of the bus tour.
Let me tell you something. A lot of those what you see in the stories is not true. But at the same time, I have to tell you that I always say that wherever there's smoke, there's fire. That is true. And so what I want to say to you is that yes, that I have behaved badly sometimes. Yes, it is true that I was on rowdy movie sets and I have done things that were not right, which I thought then was playful, but now I recognize that I have offended people. And to those people that I have offended, I want to say to them, I'm deeply sorry about that and I apologize because this is not what I tried to do.
Once again, Arnold's campaign team is ahead of the game. The apology has taken the edge off the accusations.
Let's start the engine.
Looks like Arnold has a sense of humour. The buses are named after his movies. Running Man for Arnie's bus. Total Recall for the VIPs. And just to make sure we know our place, Predator 1 to 4 for the media. We quickly get used to the procedure. Off the bus, crowds cheer, Arnie makes a speech.
Because all they know how to do is spend, spend, spend. And then when they've spent the money they don't even have, then it is tax, tax, tax.
Same speech every time. T-shirts into the crowd, and then it's back on the bus. No time for awkward questions from reporters. The campaign team are masters of deception. Only the big US television networks get access to Arnie, and then only rarely. They're the ones who can reach the voters. It's more like a presidential campaign than an election for governor. The rest of us are merely along for the ride.
It's a slightly frustrating experience travelling in the wake of Arnie, kind of occasionally getting a sight of his coattails but never getting anywhere near getting hold of them. It would be better if there was more access, but I think that we're here to show just how interested the world is in Arnie, and rather than to ask any questions.
If we're just like extras in a movie and you know, in front of a camera and saying, hey, he's got 200 reporters, and it's just a vanity show, then yeah, I mean, that's the risk we take, just being used as props.
Sometimes even the best laid plans go awry. Starved of any access, the journalists suddenly have a real story fall into their laps.
I was sitting at the counter at lunchtime with a friend of mine, and in walked a bunch of bodybuilders. My friend saw Arnold Schwarzenegger and recognized him. She said to me, "That's Arnold Schwarzenegger." I didn't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger was. I don't keep up with bodybuilding. I didn't know who he was. They sat in a booth, they ate, they all got up and left. One stayed behind to pay the bill. Not Arnold, one of his friends. When he was done paying the bill, he walked up to me, sitting at the counter, and said to me, "Arnold wants to see you." And I said, if Arnold wants to see me, he can come back inside and see me. The guy then dragged me out of my chair, out of the coffee shop, into the lobby, out into the parking structure, and held me there. Arnold came driving down from an upper level in some sort of SUV-type vehicle. He wasn't driving, he was in the passenger seat. He rolled down the window, looked at me, looked at my friend, and said, "We are going to rape you girls tonight."
Arnold did.
Arnold did, yes, Arnold.
Gail Escobar was 16 when this happened, some 25 years ago. Rule number 1 for spin doctors, discredit the source.
She's on the organizing committee of the Hotel Employee and Restaurant Employee Association, which has recently pledged to raise $2.5 million to defeat the recall and elect Cruz Bustamante governor. So what we have here are the first direct fingerprints of union involvement and Democrat Party involvement in pushing these women forward to throw ridiculous and scurrilous accusations at Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the public is going to see through this for what it is. All right, thank you all.
Can we get your name?
Todd Harris, Toddharris. Minister of Truth and Information and Enlightenment. Yeah, I think so. Oh, you don't have a clue how to use this. Here, all right, the Predators.
Arnold's problems aren't over. It's alleged he once said that he admired Hitler. You know how those rumors start. First your dad's a brown shirt. Then you invite Kurt Waldheim to your wedding. It's hard for the Hitler stuff not to stick.
to clarify matters, Schwarzenegger says, in many ways I admired people. It depends for what. I admired Hitler, for instance, because he came from being a little man with almost no formal education up to power. And I admire him for being such a good public speaker and for his way of getting to the people and so on. But I don't admire him for what he did with it.
But nothing seems to stick to the Teflon Terminator. His popularity is soaring.
We need some cheering. Now, by the looks of it, you never know Arnold's campaign was being dogged by scandal. But even with controversy around every corner, Arnold is doing everything to keep his campaign on track.
You know, they told me that there will be a few hundred people here. I see a few thousand. Thank you all for coming out here.
Between Hitler and groping, no one knows what to talk about first.
Do the people of California have a right to know if the man they're about to elect governor has done things that might be legal, might not be legal, as far as these allegations in the LA Times?
Steve, I think it was asked and answered yesterday. He gave an apology yesterday and also indicated much of it wasn't true.
He never said what he had done. I mean, Nixon once said the American people have a right to know if their president's a crook. Do the people of California have a right to know if their governor inappropriately touched
People of California have a right to know if their governor is a person of character. And I think what we saw yesterday was extraordinary, if not unusual, character of someone that's putting themselves out there for office, that went through showed the courage yesterday to stand up and say, I'm a man that's not perfect, and he apologized for some things.
The Hitler story is too big, and suddenly the campaign team require the presence of a network TV crew on the bus.
Well, what I don't rule out is that I maybe have made comments in the past. You know, like I cannot think back 30 years ago, what I said 30 years ago, or things, mistakes that I made, I don't know. But I mean, this is not me, because from the time I was a kid, I grew up, to fight prejudice. Even when I was 15 years old, when we had rallies in Austria that were kind of leaning towards that, in that direction, that anti-Semitism and all this stuff, I was rallying against that, and I was there fighting for it. For fighting against all of this.
People have known Arnold for a long time. They see him in his speeches. They watch him on C-SPAN. They watch him everywhere. And I think that they make up their mind that way, not on whether someone says something negative or not.
Did she ask for she said it was a legal and personal problem. Is that correct?
She said it was a medical issue as well.
Yeah,
she said it was a medical, legal, and personal.
I've come here to talk to Arnold too.
Yeah, they came running like a pack of dogs.
Just get her to stop. Yeah, let's get her to stop.
It's okay now?
No, it's not working.
We're going to just keep walking and everybody's going to follow her.
Well, if she wants to talk to someone from the Schwarzenegger campaign, I work for Arnold Schwarzenegger. If the press will give us some room, we'll go over here and talk. Okay? Let's go.
What did she say in the incoherent version?
She told me she wanted to talk to Arnold. Okay? Yeah, there's lots of rumors. What I saw was the press walking up to a woman. What I saw was the press, including you, walking up to a woman and asking her, did Arnold touch you? Did Arnold grope you? What did he do to you? What we need here is some responsible behavior from some of the journalists that are covering this campaign. This is the second day in a row that someone shows up on the campaign trail at an event and starts to make claims. So please, use good judgment. People can come forward and say anything they want. It can be people that are looking for money. It could be people that are unstable. It could be people that have a political axe to grind. We just don't know. So I would ask for more caution in the future before anyone would air a story like that.
Frustration among the foreign journalists is really beginning to boil over.
I try over there.
Barbara is from Austria, from the same small town as Arnie. She's been trying to get a one-to-one interview with him for weeks. Now she only has 20 hours to go. But there's no chance for Barbara or for me.
Alex, out! Out! Both of you, I'm not going to argue with this right now.
Don't push me.
Bruce, I didn't touch you.
I think it's the way they treat us. I think that's not fair.
Guys, fast!
Barbara, keep going! Excuse me! Come through. Get the
There's no more room.
Out of the blue, we are offered access. Not to Conan the Republican, of course, just to the Viper King, who's quickly learnt to love the limelight.
He's given no one-on-ones to newspapers.
He gave me a one-on-one. I interviewed him.
You're not a newspaper.
Okay, but I'm mainstream.
Little old me got an interview with George Bush, but I can't get one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean...
You know, the president does interviews on his terms. Arnold has a unique ability to do interviews on his terms, and part of it has to be understood. This is a very short campaign. If he doesn't use mass media in a mass way, he will not have enough time to speak to everyone. You know, part of the reason that I'm here as a surrogate is that Arnold would like to speak to all of you, give you this kind of time and access, but there's only one Arnold, and there's 5 buses and all the other things to be done in between.
I think as a political strategy, this is ingenious because it's meant that the Schwarzenegger campaign has completely owned the tail end of the election. Even though various scandals get stuck to Arnold and so on, because most of the world's media and much of the American media are following him around in this bus, and every day on TV, every night, there's a huge story about what Arnold did that day, and everything else that all the other candidates do is response to that. So what you see on TV is Arnold, 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 and then a little bit of Gray Davis saying Arnold, and a little bit of Cruz Bustamante saying Arnold, and then that's the end of it. And I think that's going to be the word that's going to be in people's minds at the end. I think he's good. He's very brilliantly decided to do this.
Hey Jerry, when you get your face.
So this was the very exciting event, seeing the bus without Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's the best part of it.
Why not?
Because you had one of those other guys to ask.
Discuss this. Alex, coming in.
It's just you, Alex. You can't because you had another guy's bus pass on.
So?
That's it. It's his bus, and that's it.
Dude, I'm at the Weekly Standard. Call Rob. Call Stutzman.
Talk to all these people. Shut yourself in the foot, Alex.
Why? You're gonna actually do this? Are you serious? I'm with the Weekly Standard magazine, dude. We're a conservative magazine. You're out of your mind, seriously.
Why am I out of my mind?
You're not gonna let me take a tour on the bus because I was sitting on another guy's bus and he put this press pass around my neck.
Okay, did you walk up here with that press pass?
I was at his press conference.
You walk up here with the press pass. I don't want to get ill.
I'm not allowed to wear another press pass besides this. This is the only press pass.
You shot yourself in the foot when you came up with
I
this
didn't
guy
know wearing this press pass was an act of aggression.
In the conversation.
Are you serious?
Done. In the conversation.
Are you a serious human being?
Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the door.
Can I see your badge? Can I see your badge?
Can
I see some identification?
Badge?
Yes. Skip Stockett? Is that with 2 T's? You know, things are going to change around Sacramento when we sweep out the inaccessible Gray Davis. You know?
The game show is airing every night now. Like The Real Thing, it's become a simple popularity contest.
Welcome back to Who Wants to Be Governor of California? Before the break, our finalists Brian, Nate, and Mary were asked to create an artistic rendition of their vision of California. And remember, go to gsn.com and hit the Play Now button so you can pick the final candidate you want to win $21,200.
Okay, well, here's me where I belong in Sacramento.
This mean old judge over here, we put him up in Mendocino so that, you know, he'll fight with the hippies up there. And
getting rid of the politicians that have been around for their career.
This is marijuana. I want it to go all over the state and make it legal, because that makes money.
we got to have this big tank up here to make sure China doesn't come in and fight us.
We're playing Who Wants to Be a Governor, not who wants to jump around and show us her big boobs.
I just want to say I think you're really mean. You've never had sex with a girl with boobs this big, so...
Which of these three finalists will be the winner of Who Wants to Be Governor of California, the debating game? Stay tuned.
The bus trip's over, and Arnie's staging his largest event yet, a march on Sacramento. Over 15,000 people turn up outside the Capitol building.
Arnold wasn't
groping, he was checking them out.
But this is Northern California, where not everyone's an Arnold fan. The biggest rally is met with the biggest protest so far.
That's your typical Arnold fan right there because of his movies. This is an embarrassment that he's even up here being able to take spot here on our state capitol grounds. It's terrible.
I want to be your governor. Oh, nice ones there, huh?
Please bring me the broom. Please bring me the broom now. Yes, we are here. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, to clean house. We are here to clean house. We are here to clean out, to sweep out the bureaucracy. We are here to sweep out the special interests. And we are here, number one, to sweep out Ray Davis. That's what we're going to do. I know when I come up here to Sacramento, and I will take over this office, special interests are going to go crazy because they know I'm here to kick some serious butt.
No way! No on the recall! No on Arnold! Yes on Gray Davis!
Vote in the House! Vote in the House! Vote no on recall!
My husband has never been accused of anything more serious than being dull. Right now, dull looks pretty good to me.
Vote for my husband, he's dull, was never a slogan that was going to work.
If you give me a chance to finish the term you elected me to, I'll work with all my heart, all my soul, and all my strength to bring this state together and to move us all forward together. And if they're going to recall every governor that has a deficit, then let's recall all 47 governors, Republicans and Democrats, that went from surplus to deficit, and let's recall the President of the United States because he went from the biggest surplus to the biggest deficit.
Finally, Judgment Day.
Here's your ballot.
This is
Pick a
so
machine.
exciting. This is so fun. Wow.
So you're going to hand this to the ballot clerk and then put it in the ballot box. Follow me.
Done! It went in the hole.
Here we come. Stand by. 8 in 7, 6.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much!
Show Network!
Thank you guys!
You did a fantastic job! Wait, she's groping me! There's groping going on here! Oh my God!
Well, certainly I felt a tremendous amount of pressure, but it was all internal. Some people call me the father of the recall. I don't know if I'm a father or a big brother, but what I do know is that the recall became the most important thing that I could contribute to the people of California. I needed it to be successful, and I needed one consensus candidate.
Thank you. And I know how many votes I got today because of you. I will not disappoint you, and I will not let you down.
So, celebrity, cash, and the triumph of Arnold's will won out. But with Gray Davis only 3 months into his second term in office, to me, this was nothing less than political retribution, a coup d'etat by any other name. And the process itself was a farce. Hardly a showcase for a country that claims to be the biggest promoter of democracy worldwide.
I feel great. I feel like democracy has really triumphed.
Congratulations to Arnold. Sorry, Gray. We all had a lot of fun, though, didn't we?
Oh my God, so much fun. Let's do it again next year.
We'll do it again next year.
4 years.
I don't know. I love the man. I think he's really sexy, but I don't know for a politician. But, you know, maybe he might prove me wrong and actually do a good job. I don't know.
We both married well. Some accuse us both of not being able to speak the language. We both have big biceps. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad.
There's just something patently undemocratic about what's happening in this state.
There is no greater ally that this golden state has in Washington than our president, my dear friend, President George W. Bush.
And so I would hate to go to Iraq and explain to him the same party that has the president who brought you this is a party in our state who's bringing us what we have.
Made a lot of promises. Restore faith in government, balance the budget, not raise taxes, reform education, protect the children, protect the environment. It's a lot of stuff. In 100 days, no less.
And how's he going to do that without raising taxes?
Sheer force of will. No problem.
If anything goes wrong, he can just terminate it. And if something goes wrong with him, we can terminate him.
Arnold for governor and Rambo for president. You got it. You can say, you can say.